There have been many times in the history of warfare where some were crazy enough to enter themselves into a predicament where death was guaranteed. Perhaps the most notable of these examples were the pilots who deliberately crashed into the enemy, assuring their death. Kamikaze. By mid-1944, World War II was turning in favor of the Allies quickly, and it was not looking good for the Axis powers. Hitler and his Nazis were just defeated at D-Day, and the Imperial Japanese are being pushed further and further back to their home islands every day. By now, those ever loyal to their emperor were desperate, and Captain Motoharu Okamura suggested something out of the ordinary. He advocated for suicide attacks by having Japanese pilots deliberately crash their planes into American ships. This was crazy, but Okamura believed that it was more efficient to attack the enemy in this way, as it had a higher success rate than with other aerial attack methods. This plan was put into effect, and the Divine Wind Special Attack Unit was created. The term kamikaze comes from divine wind, which is the English translation of kamikaze. These planes, piloted by those who were brave enough to die for their emperor, were often loaded with tons of explosives as well as a lot of fuel. This meant that when kamikaze attacks became more widespread, they were feared and very dangerous. The pilots selected for these missions were often very young, some just 17 years old. In their flight manual and in their training, kamikaze pilots were told in detail where to attack the ships and how to mentally prepare to die. Those lucky enough to survive a suicide attack were often put right back into a suicidal predicament. The exact numbers are disputed, however, it is generally agreed upon that there were dozens of U.S. ships sunk as a result of kamikaze attacks, as well as several hundred damaged. Over 3,000 kamikaze pilots died in World War II, and there were around 10,000 total casualties for the United States. Despite these losses on both sides, the kamikaze attackers were not able to successfully turn the tide of the war in favor of the Japanese, who would be defeated and surrender by the 2nd of September, 1945. Thanks for watching.